In this video, what we're going to do is we are going to build in the actual pockets for this presentation folder. And the pockets, as I mentioned in the earlier video, are typically 4 inches high. And what we're going to do is we're going to build it in at the bottom. So in this particular video, we're going to add in slug space at the bottom of these pages. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go up to File. We're going to drop. Make sure you're in InDesign. Go up to File, drop down to Document Setup, and then what you're going to do is where you see the bleed and slug settings, you want to make sure you click off on this link right here so that you can just give one value. We just want to give this value right here at the bottom because we just want to add a slug value at the bottom, and that's going to be 4 inches. I know it's 24 picas, but what you can do is if you just type in 4, IN, and as you notice, it will automatically jump to 24 picas. All right, so we just put in slugs at the bottom. We'll say OK. Now let's take a look and see what that looks like. All right, I just zoomed out so you can see it, and it's this blue line that you see right here. That's the slug value right there at the bottom. All right. So that's going to be where we're going to build in our pocket folder, the actual pockets for the pocket folder. So next thing is we want to open up the bleed at the bottom so that the bleed will go, it'll go around the slug as well as going around the pages. So once again, what we're going to do is we're going to go up to File, drop down to Document Setup, all right, and then at this point, what you want to do is click off on this link, because we're just going to add to the bottom. So right now what we're going to do is we know it's 24 picas, is the actual pockets folder size, but we want, since it's a bleed, it's going to be an additional 9 points to the bottom. So what we're going to do is, as you see, it's got P9 going all the way across, which means it's, of course, 9 points going all the way around the pages, but we're going to type in 24 for the bottom. All right, and then we're going to say OK. And at this point, you can see what it did was it added the bleed so that now the bleed encompasses the slug as well. Okay, so now we have the slug area at the bottom. So next up is we're going to actually build in the pockets. So what you want to do is, it's almost like adding a page. You're going to add like a panel below the 2 pages. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take a rectangle tool, and we're going to add a rectangle, all right, to the bottom of each page. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, and what I'm suggesting is that you align the panel, or the pocket, if you will, to the inside margin, because I'm going to show you a little trick. All right, and then we're going to duplicate this. So you put your finger on the Option key so you get the double arrow, put your finger on the Shift key to constrain it, and go straight across, align it to the right edge of the slug. So now you have these 2 frames and you have a gap in the middle. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually, I want to call it pinch the inside of the pockets so that they actually come together toward the middle at the bottom of the pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. So now I just look at the two pockets, if you will, those 2 frames. So I select them both, but I'm going to select them with the direct selection tool. Click on one, put my finger on the Shift key, click on the other one. And now what I want to do is I'm going to, using the scale tool, all right, scale tool, I'm going to put the scale tool right in the middle. Once I do that, I'm going to, using the direct selection tool, click on this anchor point in the upper right-hand corner on the left side, put my finger on the Shift key, click on the anchor point on the upper left-hand corner of the right side. Make sure that the actual scale tool is in the middle. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to close it in. All right, I'm going to close it in. And I just pull it in, as you notice, as I pull it into the middle, because the actual the reference point is in the middle. When I pull it in, just those 2 points are moving in. All right, like so. Now when I zoom out, all right, you can see I have this this angular effect in here. All right, I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. You know, it has a little angular effect right here. Now, so now we have both front and back, and we have the 2 pockets at the bottom. So let's say, for example, for this exercise, I'm going to put a frame here, and I'm going to call this one. This is typically the right page is our front. So I'm going to type in front, all right, and I'm going to make that nice and big. All right, let's make it nice and big. Okay, and then I'm going to center it. Okay, and then I'm going to, and basically I'm just doing this. You don't have to do this, but this is going to help you when you're doing your design. I'm going to copy this, move it to the left-hand side, and of course that's going to be our back. Let me highlight that and type in back. All right, now here's the fun part. We're looking. I'm going to bring these tags down a little further to the pockets. I'm going to duplicate them and bring them down. All right. Now, what you're looking at right here is what is the pocket that's on the right-hand side. That's actually the left pocket. And then the one that's on the right-hand side is actually, on the left-hand side is actually the right pocket. All right. So basically, when you set up your design, you're going to design everything on one side. Because if you notice, we don't really need an inside, because the way this thing works is the pockets are going to fold up and in. All right. So let's say, for example, if the color that we're using for the front, all right, is going to be, of course, Mr. Duran's favorite color, which is magenta. All right. So we'll put this over here. And we'll give that fill, a magenta fill, and we're going to send it to the back, all right? And then we're going to make the color on the back, we're going to make that blue, the cyan, all right? So, all right, I love this, but guess what happens? On the pocket, because if we want the pockets to marry or to match up, the pocket that's underneath the front is going to be cyan. And the pocket that's underneath the back is going to be magenta, all right? Because again, when you fold it in, all right, the right side is going to be, switched basically, all right? And not only is it going to be switched, but the artwork is going to be upside down. So let's say, for example, it's going to be more like, I'm going to rotate this thing. I'm going to rotate it in the center. All right, using the rotating tool. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing here. All right. So basically, that's how this whole thing is going to play out. All right. So the next video I'm going to show you, and that's going to be quick, I'm going to show you how you actually set this thing up for production.